race. Let's go to the pits in Jackaroo.
Well, Danny Sullivan, you complained all afternoon of an ill-handling race car, but what finally put you out of the race?
Well, we changed the shocks, changed tires, changed everything we could, and I just felt I was in the way out there and didn't want to keep going, take a chance of causing an accident or being one myself, so I just decided it was better to stop.
Well, as we watch Mario Andretti on pit road, we understand that it wasn't for a lack of trying, though, as well as Rick Mears, your teammate, comes on the pit road. Your hands are pretty well blistered. You really had to fight the wheel all day.
Yeah, these guys tried all hard. They're the ones with all the blisters burning their hands trying to change the shocks, but they gave it a shot. I just don't know what it is.
Well, that's the story. One national champion is out of this race.
Now, Bobby Unser, there are few things as nasty as a race car that can be so perfect most of the time and then is ill handling when it gets on a circuit like this. The yellow, by the way, is a toe-in on Gordon Johncock, who pulled off the edge of the racing surface, and there you see the former Michigan 500 champion on the tow rope behind the Orton safety vehicle. These are the cars out of the race. Of course, that accident with Rich Vogler and Steve Chassie early on. Randy Lewis went out with an engine. You saw Pancho Carter, after a great run, go up into the front of the field. And Kevin Kogan, you see the rest of the cars out of this 500-mile race.
Ron Hemmelgarn came with 2 cars, Paul.
Here is the front of the field as they came across with the green flag. They got a yellow at the start of this run and had to lag a lap before they got green because they weren't lined up well. Teo Fabi was able to move out in front of this field. We take a look as he comes around. This is back at the start of the race. We're actually running under caution right now. Teo Fabi, the Porsche-powered car, really jumped out to a magnificent lead. Emerson Fittipaldi jumped in behind and started to give what chase he could. But for the first few laps, Gary Daly, the team manager, and the crew chief Peter Parrott had to be just totally satisfied with the run of Teo Fabi. Then Emerson Fittipaldi got past, picked up the lead, and then as he came in on one of his stops, he locked up the brakes, missed his pits, and had to go all the way around to complete his pit stop. So that put Fittipaldi well down in the order. Then Rick Mears, as the leader of the race, came in for the stop and was forced into this situation, which is a stop-and-go penalty. Now, that was because he got above the yellow line on the exit of the pits from his stop. Then Michael Andretti, the leader, had this problem. He just lit the back tires as he came out, and he was turned around in the pits, had to come in for a stop-and-go penalty as well. So we're under caution right now, and that is Gordon Johncock behind the safety vehicle being towed. The yellow flag flies once again. 115 laps are complete. Michael Andretti is the leader. Well, you look down on Michigan International from the Goodyear blimp, the Enterprise, from Pompano Beach, Florida. The 2-mile high bank circuit. We're still under yellow. Captain Prue Marshall flying up there today in an overcast sky now. Still a possibility of rain here, though it doesn't seem to be imminent. 54th consecutive year that a Goodyear blimp has floated so majestically over IndyCar and automobile racing in general in the United States. Now, we anticipate coming back to the green flag very shortly. And when we do, this is the situation. Michael, Mario, Rick Mears are all lined up one behind another as they come back to the green. Teo Fabi and Raul Boesel are also right behind one another, though they are one lap down. We should be able to see all of those as they come back to green, begin to engage one another as we're beginning to approach the halfway point, 250 miles in this 500-mile race. 117 laps are now complete. 250, the scheduled distance, 250 times around this track. There's Mario and Michael right behind one another, and Rick Mears first, second, and third. That is Al Unser Jr. that separates Michael from Mario. He is certainly conscious of his position, which is 7th, and 2 laps off the pace, and he knows that the leaders are right there. Now the pace begins to quicken. PPG pace car maneuvers down low, sets its sights on the pit lane. It'll be Rahal that's actually in front of the field, but will focus on Michael and Mario Andretti. Michael leads the race Little Al accelerates, gets a bit ahead of Michael as they head into the first turn now. And the Andretti's try to bottle up and get around as they begin to fight. Rick Mears is well back. He got caught behind a slower car on that restart.
Well, you know, again, the way the race was before and the way it is right now, Paul, the leaders are back in the middle of the pack. They have to go through all that traffic. Makes for a better race, but boy, sure makes it hard for the traffic problem.
Now the two cars out of the Paul Newman, Carl Haas team now battling for the lead of the race once again. As they circle this track, there they are, Little Al Ellenser Jr. sitting up on the high side of the course as Michael is able to work his way past. Little Al not part of this fight, but Rick Mears gets past Mario. Mears comes past Mario and picks up second.
Now Rick has said he's going to lay back a little bit today. Remember, we talked to him, said he wasn't going to let Emma drive him to death, but now, halfway in the race roughly, he's got to get her up and going. It looks like he is, Paul.
There's something in Rick Mears' personality. He likes to wait for the halfway point in 500-mile races to really start making his move. There you see his wife, Chris, urging him on. She is a wonderful person. By the way, after the Indianapolis 500, where Rick Mears was so disappointed, a big chance to win his fourth Indy, snatched away from him by mechanical failure, Chris came out to the swimming pool, cheered him and her family and everybody up.
While that fight was going on for second place, Arie Luyendyk was able to take advantage of a slowing Raul Boesel and get past both Boesel and Bobby. Boesel has come well off of the pace now and is not at full speed on this track. There's Mario as Michael comes down into the pits and Mario picks up the lead. This is another stop and go penalty. Let's go to Brian Hammond.
Well, the reason for the stop and go, CART penalized Michael Andretti for a pit entrance violation. He passed under yellow coming into the pits during that last yellow flag. That's why Michael was penalized for the stop and go penalty.
And coming out there, Bobby got his right wheels perilously close to that yellow line.
It's an awful close call. I'll bet you somebody's watching that really close, but it looks like they're going to need a traffic policeman out of the pits today with all stop and go.
Boy, the officials are on top of everything today.
Watching very closely, we mentioned Boesel. There he is, the 30 car. They kept the engine running. Now they shut her down as they take the cowling off. He was running in 6th place before this situation developed.
This team is based in nearby Adrian, Michigan. They're the closest thing in this race to being a home team to this track.
Boesel has really been doing a good job, and he's been pretty fast all day. He's just been off a little bit on the pit stops as far as the timing when he comes in.
Boesel, the 30 car started 22nd and was 6th when he came into the pit for this stop. Let's go to Jackaroo.
Paul, people that are really pumped up right now are these people on pit road for Rick Mears. They're very much aware of the misfortunes that have befallen the current point leader in PP IndyCar World Series points. Of course, that's Emerson Fittipaldi. What they're all pumped up about now is they know they've got to turn it around. As we watch Chris Mears in the camera, they feel now if they can run very well and win this race, they can grab momentum away from Fittipaldi's team and take it all the way to the championship. All during the day today, before the start of this race, that's all they talked about, is the fact that this had to be the turning point for Team Penske. If they could turn it around today, they could get back on the march to the top of the point standings.
Well, Rick Mears has definitely turned the wick up. He's run laps above 222 miles an hour. That's 4 miles an hour faster than he qualified. And there you see him maneuvering in the same area as Emerson Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi is now running 8th, so he's beginning to sneak back up in this field, though he is still 2 laps behind Mears, the leader.
There's something, as I said, about Rick where he likes to wait to the second half of the race to really make his moves. And I think if you think of him off season, he loves to hunt. When he races, it's almost a metaphor for hunting. He waits, he finds his prey, sets it up. That's the first half, and then he moves in for the attack.
Well, 250 miles, half of the distance, are now into the record books in this, the 9th Michigan 500. And Rick Mears is the leader. We'll be back. Back past the halfway point now at the Michigan 500. Rick Mears is the leader of the race. Works his way down the backstretch. A.J. Foyt started 25th. He was up to 6th place. Just now was assessed a black flag to bring him in on a stop-and-go penalty for a pit entry violation, as the officials are definitely becoming part of the run here and enforcing the rules vigorously in this, the Michigan 500. works his way around. There's Bobby Rahal. Rahal running off the pace is running down in 14th. Let's check more on this decision by the officials and their attitude today. Here's Jack Arute.